Hello, good people. Welcome to the new Money Moments coming to you Thursday. Dennis Amako, Simon Biggie. Let's see who else is joining us today. Thank you. Sorry for the delays, the changes. Baking Solososi, good to see you. So good to see you. You are one of those who said this time would work better for you. Thank you. Summer Soft in Subuka. Yeah. Biggie, who is your arch nemesis? Good to see you, good people. Thank you for joining us. Jose was from Lindwa. Hans Backstein joining us all the way from the Netherlands. Tina Namazi. Kat Bunjo. Philippe Gessa, Pastor. Philippe Gessa, thank you for joining us for Money Moments. James Starling Mwendo. Pastor James Starling Mwendo. Evelyn Nwagaba Motengu. Thank you for joining us. Yeah, this is Money Moments back, reloaded for 5 o'clock. Today we started at 5:12. The idea is 5 to 5:30 and we should be done. This gives a little bit of an opportunity to more people who are usually at work on, at midday or so, because I'm trying to switch around my weekly schedule to work better for me in terms of what I need to do, writing, and all of that. Thank you for joining me. Yes, my neighbor, Pastor Philippe Gessa, has joined us. So it's going to be 30 minutes. We started around 5:10, maybe. We should be done by 5:40, so that we'll release your evening. Yay, Emmanuel Mahandi Dennis, good to see you. Moses Sebali watching from Bujidi District. Sinta Lioness, good to see you. Let us know where you're watching from. Let us know what your business is. What do you do for business? Where are you watching us from? This is Money Moments. We are not ashamed of business. We are not ashamed to say that we think that we can do a lot of greater good if we have the resources. And that without the resources, we are limited in what we can do. So welcome to Money Moments. Thanks so much for joining us. Awesome, good to see you. We've been looking at the whole mindset thing, shifting mindsets. Yay, Jose was for good to see you. Samuel Elvis, one of the baddest photographers north of the Limpopo, good to see you. Thanks for joining us. Chris Kawesa, Dagan Bragan Industries, Dagan Bragan Farms, Dagan Bragan. Atwine Wellen was looking for it at midday. Sorry. Forgive. Stella Natuara, Nora Namara, John Patrick Walalao, Agatha Kisache Kabugo. Good to see you. Thanks for joining us. Awesome. In a minute, we'll be starting. Annabelle Nakabiri, good to see you. In a minute, we'll be starting. We've been looking at the whole idea. Hey, first time, Nora. Yeah, we changed for you. Eddie Magumba. Pastor Eddie Magumba watching from Buenda Village. Good to see you. Your book, Mind Shift. We are talking about Mind Shift. Joy Jesse Nabshao, Miriam Salamla. Dennis imports cars, fixes them, yet to brand. We want the brand. You know, Doi from Chiriandongo, as always, good to see you. Henrietta, Simon Biggie, yeah, at Masterpieces, Sinta Lioness from Namgongo, Genesis Tutoring Services. We teach children in areas of purpose, identity, value, skills. Yay, Field Marshal. Okay, let me get started. Tina is into beauty and cosmetics, Purple Beauty UG. So, guys, look out for Purple Beauty UG. Says, hit me for your legit designer perfumes, ladies' lipstick, body creams, nebidala. Chitegerotia. Ho. Okay, so we've been talking about mind shift. Mind shift, why you need to change your mind, what you need to change your thinking about money. And we've said that the greatest, you live out of your mind. So if anything is going to change in your life, it starts by the renewal of your mind. That's what the Bible teaches in Romans chapter 12, verse 2. Be transformed by the renewing of your mind. How do you be transformed? By the renewing of your mind. How do you get transformed financially? By the renewing of your financial mind. 10 years ago, in 2010, my friend Christian Subuga walked to my office and gave me a CD. And this CD, it was the audio version of Secrets of the Millionaire Mind by Harv Eker. Harv Eker authored a book called Secrets of the Millionaire Mind. I've used it so many times in different settings to teach people about how to shift your mind as far as money is concerned. He contends in the book that rich people think a certain way and poor people think a certain way. And that the biggest differentiator between rich and poor people is really how they think. And I couldn't agree with him more. It is from Harv Eker that we learned the principle of the thermostat. The thermostat. Your car uses a thermostat to maintain a certain temperature. That's why there is a temperature gauge in your car. Your fridge uses a thermostat to maintain a certain temperature so you can keep things cool. If you work in an air-conditioned office or live in an air-conditioned house, they use a thermostat. And here is how the thermostat works. Once you have set the temperature of the thermostat, it doesn't matter how cooler or hotter it is on the outside, the thermostat will control the temperature on the inside. And we've said that every one of us, you have a certain financial temperature. You have a financial temperature that controls the amount of money that you have in your life. Your financial thermostat is set at a certain temperature, and that temperature controls the amount of money you have in your life. So if, say, your thermostat is set at 10 million shillings, if you go below 10 million shillings, you are going to work 2 jobs. You're going to do everything possible to rack up the money you need to get to 10 million. And the moment you hit 10 million shillings, let's say you go to 11, 12, you become really comfortable. You become comfortable, you stop hustling, you stop looking for money. Why? You have attained your set financial temperature. So let's say if your temperature is set at 10 million and then God of Wonders brings an opportunity your way and you make 100 million shillings. Guess what's going to happen? All your friends are going to have one ongoing party for some time. You will buy everyone the drinks, you will send gifts, you will make the biggest contributions to everyone's cause, and you will only wake up when you have about 7-8 million shillings left. That's when you wake up and say, oops, where's my money going? That's when you'll wake up because, Jonathan, good to see you. That's when you'll wake up because you realize that you will have fallen below your usual financial temperature. So everyone has a set temperature. And that's why people who win the lottery, 90% or more of the people who win the lottery go back to a worse life than they had 2 years before they won. It takes 2 years or less to go back to a worse life than the one they had before they won the lottery. Why? They made money, they landed on the money, but they didn't have the financial mindset, the right temperature to hold on to the money. So money has been living your life because your temperature is low. And the thing you need to do urgently is raise the temperature. And last week we looked at the 4 things you need to do to raise the temperature. 1, read great material or come across great material, whether that's by reading podcasts, YouTube, whatever it is. 2, hang with the egos. You'll never fly if you hang in the chicken house. So hang with egos. Find other people who are where you want to go and start spending some time with them. You are the average of the 5 closest people to you. If you find 5 broke people, you're going to be the sixth. If you find 5 rich people, you're going to be the sixth. If you find 5 people who read, you're going to be the 6th reader. If you find 5 people who don't like their wives, you're going to be the 6th. So be careful who you hang with, and then get into wealthy environments that challenge, that speak to the royal, reach you, and then push back poverty reflexes. Silence the yakamita. Stop putting so little fuel in your car that it's always in E, among all those other things. The way Jesus talked to the fig tree is the way you need to talk to poverty and say, get out of my life. So out of the same book, Secrets of the Millionaire Mind, Harv Eker came up with what he calls the 17 wealth files. And those are the ones I want us to discuss today. And if we don't finish them today, we'll extend to next Thursday as we look at the 17 wealth files. Wealth file number 1. Rich people believe I create my life. Poor people believe life happens to me. Rich people believe I create my life. Poor people believe life happens to me. Harv Eker says in his book that you'll never find a really, really, really rich victim. As long as you are in that group of people who think someone else is responsible for your success, someone else has set the conditions for your success or failure, someone else is responsible, you are not ready to create wealth. The people who create wealth take responsibility for their situation. They stop blaming other people. People blame all sorts of people for where they are. They will blame their parents. They will blame their spouse. They will blame God. They will blame their pastor. They will blame their school teacher. They will blame the career teacher. They will blame their boss. They will blame everyone else except themselves. Danny Silk says in his book, Keep Your Love On, that the only person you can control on a good day is yourself. And that's on a good day. Now on a bad day, even yourself, no. So the only person you can control on a good day is yourself. So rich people believe I create my life. They take responsibility for their future. Poor people believe life happens to me. Someone else is responsible for my future. I'm where I am because someone else hasn't made the right decisions for me. That's poverty thinking. That's poverty thinking. That's poverty thinking. As long as you think someone else is responsible for your success, you're going to remain broke. And even if you make money, you will lose it because you still have someone else to blame for losing it. I'll move to the second point. Wealth file number 2. Rich people play the money game to win. Poor people play the money game not to lose. Have you heard of saving for a rainy day? That's exactly playing not to lose. I don't save for a rainy day. I save for a sunny, bright, brilliant investment day. You save to invest so that you will never have a rainy day. Rainy days only happen to those who don't know how money works. There are people who will never have a rainy day because they have created systems that put gold coins into their wallets, whether they work or not. They could spend a whole year playing golf and they would still be 1,000 times richer than you because they have systems that bring them money. How did they create those systems? They play to win. They take risks. They make investments. They're always reading about how to get better in the money game. People who play for a draw rarely win. People who play to win sometimes lose, sometimes they get a draw, but they play to win. Robert, so good to see you. Thank you for my SFFG mask. See what I'm talking about? So please contact Mr. Ravos if you want this for your business. So rich people play the money game to win. Poor people play the money game not to lose. So which one are you? You see, here is how you know you're going to lose the money game. You're always holding on to your Kalito money. In your mind, there is not enough money, so you have to hold on to it. That's playing fair draw. Rich people play to win. They see opportunities. There's this whole lockdown, COVID, what opportunities exist in this environment? Let's go for it. They go for it. Patience Kaposh asks, what does a rainy day look like for Bill Gates? He doesn't even know what that is. It's, yeah, totally. Totally. That's wealth file number 2. Wealth file number 3. Rich people are committed to being rich. Poor people want to be rich. There's a difference between commitment and desire. A lot of people, if you ask anyone, do you want to be poor? They say, no, definitely not. I want to be rich. They are not willing to do something about it. They are not willing to educate themselves to be rich. They are not willing to read the right books to be rich. They are not willing to get into wealthy environments to be rich. They are not willing to find the right friends who are going somewhere significant to be rich. They are not willing to do what it takes to be rich. But do they want to be rich? They want. They want. If you can just put it on their lap, here is wealth, take it, they will take it. It's not going to happen. Harv Eker says, getting rich is one thing. Staying rich is even harder than becoming rich. So rich people are committed to being rich. Poor people just want to be rich. So what's the difference between commitment and wanting? Commitment is, you've moved from wanting to commitment when you've built disciplines. Commitment equals disciplines. What are your financial disciplines? Are you saving and investing at least 20% of your income? Are you tithing at least 10% of your income? Are you making sure that your income goes up at least 20% every year? That's commitment. That's commitment. Thanks, Pastor Philip Egesa. Desire, everyone desires to be rich. Commitment is when you do something about it. Of course, I want to qualify this, that you shouldn't do something about it at the expense of your soul. What shall it benefit a man if he gains the whole world and loses his soul? The last time I checked, you don't need to be wealthy to lose your soul. There's lots of people who are, the people who work the hardest and are not about a car, they are always at work, are really not the rich people. The rich people are available for their families because they've set up systems that make money for them while they spend time with their families. While the poor people who don't know what to do spend all their lives working for those rich people and their families don't see them. Do you have financial disciplines? Thanks, Angela Sanyokolo, one of the best SFFG coaches out there. If you want to join an SFFG mastermind that's going to radically change your life, send an inbox to Angela Sanyokolo immediately. She will take you in her mastermind. Hers and her husband's awesome stuff. They will even help you if you're a couple, because sometimes money brings issues in families. So, discipline. Discipline, commitment equals discipline. Financial discipline means that you do the thing over and over again until it becomes a part of you. File number 4, wealth file number 4. Rich people think big, poor people think small. Rich people think big, poor people think small. Do I even want to go into this point? The day you thought about the product you're putting on the market, how many people did you think you want to change? At Straightforward Financial Growth, our commitment is to help 1 million people change their financial destinies to the next generation. 1 million people. We are not going to allow ourselves to think small. 1 million people. If we got 1 million people practicing what the book of Proverbs teaches, that a good man leaves an inheritance for children's children, do you know what that would do to this economy? Do you know what would happen if I got 1 million of you to get to at least 5 billion Uganda shillings net worth? That would be 5 trillion. We would together be controlling 5 trillion of net worth. We would start having answers to China. Right now we don't, because we are thinking small. Thinking big will cost you nothing. Thinking small will cost you everything. If you aim for the sun, you might hit the moon. If you aim for the stars, you might hit the moon. If you aim for the moon, all you get is earth. Look, thinking big will cost you nothing. There is no roadblock where they're going to stop and say, stop, we suspect you're thinking big. Whatever your business is, if you're like Mr. Roberts here and you're into apparel, think big. Just think of the 40 million Ugandans. If they all knew how good our t-shirts are, by the way, this one is from the same place, how many would buy? And say, if we took only 1% of the market, that would be 400,000 tees. 400,000 times 25,000 per t-shirt. $400,000. Let me even do the math here because my calculator is on the phone and I'm using it. 400,000, that's 1% of the Ugandan market, times 25,000. First of all, that would be 400 million, 4 billion times 2.5, 10 billion. 10 billion per year. If only 1% of Ugandans bought one t-shirt per year from Peace Per Africa, they would be making 10 billion. Just stretch. What's your business? Kaposh, what's your business? Josem, what's your business? Just get whatever you're doing and multiply it by 100 or 1,000 and then start sweating over the details. But for you to think big, you first have to embrace the big picture, then you think the details. You see, either you're going to see obstacles or opportunity. If you're one of those who starts whatever details before you think the big picture, you're going to get stuck. Anyway, rich people think big, poor people think small. Welfare number 5. Rich people focus on opportunities, poor people focus on obstacles. Every time you get to a junction and there is a hurdle standing between you and where you're going, do you see the opportunity or do you see the obstacles? All those Israelite soldiers thought Goliath was too big to beat. David thought Goliath was too big to miss. Too big to beat or too big to miss? It's all about perspective. Winning and losing is a matter of perspective. Most people who lose on perspective, not reality. It's all about perspective. And rich people focus on opportunities, poor people focus on obstacles. I know you have those relatives, and you are not those relatives, but you know them. You start the thing like this. Yes. You start a thing like this, you bring an idea to the table, and then everyone is starting to see how it will not work. I remember when we were starting Worship Harvest. And those days, not even the church, when we were just starting the music group, a certain loving brother sat me down and for 1.5 hours showed me how it wasn't going to work. I don't know what they have to say now. Focus on the opportunity. Don't be the poor person who focuses on the obstacles. Look, the obstacles are going to be there. There's only, whether you focus on them or not, they are going to be there. The road to significance is full of obstacles. The people who get there are the ones who figure out how to go past every obstacle. Joseph had Potiphar's house, the prison, the brothers, etc. Abraham had all sorts of obstacles. David had obstacles. Saul, his own family, his own brothers, Goliath. If the road you're walking on has no obstacles, it's not the road to significance. I like what Andrew Womack says. If you haven't run into the devil, it's likely you're walking in the same direction. So stop singing about the obstacles. They are part of the course. Life is an obstacle course, literally. So for you to think that you're going to live life without the obstacles of people who want to discourage you, people who want to discredit you, people who want to say things about you that are not there, and you're just going to sit there and start crying because of obstacles, or you're not going to start that business, forget it. Life is an obstacle course, and those who win at life are the ones who know how to sail over those obstacles. Just go for it. So, rich people focus on opportunities, poor people focus on obstacles. Number 6, rich people admire other rich and successful people. Poor people resent rich and successful people. Let me ask you, every time you read in the newspaper when one of the wealthy people in this country they are publishing something bad about them, what's your usual reaction? Do you feel bad for them, or are you one of those who rejoice inwardly, may not do it outwardly, but inwardly you're like, yeah, they deserve it. Yeah, those people. If your response to when people who are perceived to be rich get into trouble is celebration, you are poor at heart and you need to repent. You need to repent. Because rich people admire other rich and successful people, while poor people resent rich and successful people. So stop resenting rich people, because you can't become that which you resent. You can't become that which you despise. You cannot. Every child wants to be like their father. Why? Because they honor them. If you despised your dad, do you think you want to become like them? No. You don't want to become like them. So stop this thing of resenting rich and successful people, because you really don't know them. You don't know their motives. You don't know their story. Every time you find someone who has done something greater than you, honor them, respect them. There is a reason they've done greater than you. There is something they know that you don't. So stop resenting them and start admiring them. Maybe you just might join them. Fire number 7. Rich people associate with positive, successful people, while poor people associate with negative or unsuccessful people. Do you associate with positive and successful people, or do you associate with negative and unsuccessful people? Again, like we said, you are the average of the 5 closest people to you. Whoever you relate with, whoever you associate with, that's what you're going to become. For David to become king, it wasn't enough for him to be anointed at his father's house. There had never been any kings from his father's house. He had to come and live in the palace playing for Saul to be delivered of demons, so he could start understanding what being a king is. He was able to watch closely. Because of the access he had, because of Saul's need, he was there. Who are you associating with? If you find people who are wealthy and you want to associate with them, find a way of helping them with their needs. Okay, we are going to stop on file number 8. And then next week we'll start from 9 to 17. Number 8, file number 8. Rich people are willing to promote themselves and their value, while poor people think negatively about selling and promotion. Rich people are willing to promote themselves and their value. What do you think about promoting yourself and your value? You are probably made to feel like that's pride. You should just think low about yourself. Don't talk too much about your product. That's why we don't know a lot about your businesses. It's an inward thing. Do you know why people don't know about you and your business? Because you haven't promoted it. The world is full of sinners. How are they supposed to walk in discernment and know that you sell such and such a thing or you give such and such a product? Do you know why you don't promote your value? Because of poverty thinking. So let's think about it. Let's say you came up with a product that you think is going to help a lot of people, like a book, a gel, a drug. Okay, not drug like medicine, not the other stuff. Whatever it is. If you think it's good and it's going to help a lot of people, why wouldn't you promote it? Do you realize how selfish that is? It's like you have a good thing and you want to sell it to only 200 people instead of 2 million people. Rich people promote themselves and their value. Stop giving those excuses of low sales, your brand not being known, etc. It's because you're not promoting yourself and your value. So start promoting yourself and your value if you're not going to remain poor and broke the rest of your life. I'm hoping that by now you have already decided poor doesn't work. You see, I tried broke, it didn't work for me. So are you willing to promote your product and your value? Are you willing to promote yourself and your value? That's what rich people do. That's why you're using an iPhone right now, or a Samsung phone, or whatever kind of phone. How did you get it? Someone promoted it. That phone you're holding, it's not made on your village. It's not manufactured in your village where you are right now. That's why you're on Facebook. Facebook is not made in your village. Whoever created this stuff thousands of miles away, they're willing to promote it until it reaches your village, but for you, you're only willing to sell only in your village. And you think you are ready to compete globally. Friends, it's time to wake up and start thinking rich. Amen? You can share with us what has stood out for you. What has stood out for you? Share what has stood out for you. We've gone a little bit over our time, just a little bit. I'm going to hang here for another 2-3 minutes just to see what has stood out for you. Baking soda says Huawei is not made there. It's made in China. What has stood out for you? Shots fired. Facebook wasn't made in your village in Chaliwat in Naria, Biggie. What has stood out for you? Mahande says Chiboko has stood out for him. What has stood out for you? What's your reflection? What has stood out for you and what are you going to do about it? What has stood out for you? What are you going to do about it? Pastor Henry Musana, good to see you. What has stood out for you? What are you going to do about it? Henrietta is going to promote her products and value. Start a Facebook page and start promoting your products. We shouldn't be trying to figure out what you sell. If you're not up to selling it, forget it. Go back to the village. Anyway, what has stood out for you? And what are you going to do about it? What has stood out for you? What are you going to do about it? Becky says, rich people don't play victim. You'll never find a really, really, really rich victim. What has stood out for you? What are you going to do about it? Mugabe Jonan, think big, promote yourself and your product. Branding, global promotion, and value. Charity says, associate with positive people. Keep company with positive-minded people. Promote yourself is not pride. Yes, you're just promoting value. If the guys who made these iPhones kept them in their pockets, we wouldn't have them. What has stood out for you? Let me see. Miriam says, I'm the average of the people I hang with. I'm committed to hang out with people with 1 million net worth plus. Winning or losing is a matter of perspective. Yeah, definitely. You can't become what you despise. What has stood out for you? What are you going to do about it? Saving for investment, not rainy days, says Derek Busura. Yeah, definitely. Promote what God has put in you. Yeah, that's not pride. It's simply acknowledgement. It's acknowledging what God has put in you. It's not pride. Nick Kimaru, promote yourself and keep company with what? Nick, happy birthday to your wife. I saw that post. Happy birthday to Pastor Angie. Benjamin Machelli. The police won't stop you for thinking big. Yeah. What has stood out for you? Atwine, rich people. promote themselves. Obstacles are part of the journey. Yeah, expect them and plan to overcome them. Don't go in thinking you won't find obstacles. They're going to be there. Sit down and start crying about the obstacle. Forget it. Okay, guys, thanks so much for joining me today for Money Moments. Remember, it's now Thursdays, 5 o'clock. See you next Thursday. You're a blessing. You are blessed. May God bless you abundantly. May the blessing of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob rest upon you. May God give you wisdom beyond your years. May God open doors that you can't open in your own intellect. May He take you places that you can never take yourself. May God bring people into your life that are going to be opening the doors to your next level. May God do that and for you and so much more. May you be filled with joy. May you never have to choose between money and joy. May you have both money, joy, a joyful marriage, wonderful children, and lots of wealth to help the communities. May you abundantly rise beyond the wildest expectations of everyone in your clan. May you be that person who stands out. May your products reach nations and not just one nation. And may God bless you abundantly. Love you. See you next Thursday. Amen.